So we all connected last time, and we are here again to connect with each other. Well, actually, in the last connect where I left off is really where I would like to start. For many years, as I mentioned last time, I've been really fascinated with this whole idea of the future. What is going to happen to IT? When is IT really going to catch up with our brains? Before I sort of take you into the next part, this part of my talk today, I'd like to ask for some videos to be shown.
You take a look at Wayne Gretzky's career, the numbers will astound you. He finished with 2,857 points. Pretty amazing stuff. The number 50 is a magical number in hockey history. Everyone strives to score 50 goals or the unthinkable, 50 goals in 50 games. Wayne simply blew that number away. While 50 goals in 39 games is the one record that's believed to be unbreakable, you can probably add a 51-point scoring streak to the list. We will simply leave it to the great one.
As we were talking about the computer and the brain, I want to talk about Wayne Gretzky's brain and really what he actually does and how he does it. So basically, what does Wayne Gretzky do? So how did he become so successful in this very fast-paced game as you saw? He became successful because he studied the whole concept of ice hockey in great detail. And he studied and studied and studied and learned about it from his father and people around him, read the history, and finally he became one of the greatest ever in this game. And with that, he could actually predict where the puck is going to be. He didn't have to think. He just knew where the puck will be, and he'll be there to shoot it home. And that's really what our brain is capable of doing. It can actually have that 2-second advantage to win the game. Now let's see the next video, which brings us closer to home.
With a bit more forward movement. That's awesome. That's one for the photographers and one for our memory. Arching back and has enough presence of mind. Oh, I'll get the bat on this. That has come right out of the middle of the bat.
Our very own Sachin Tendulkar also does exactly the same. He's a great master of the game. He's really studied the game. He really knows how every field looks like in the world. He knows exactly what's happened, how he's been bowled out every time. And all that is there. So the wiring in his brain has completely changed from the original wiring. And this wiring has happened because of all of this hard work that he's done. They say that actually on anything, if you spend 10,000 hours of practice, you can actually be very, very good at predicting what's going to happen next. And imagine, any of us, if we can predict what can happen next, we can change the way we work. We can dramatically influence our businesses. We can take decisions which are radically different from the decisions that we would take just based on data. Now, how does our brain really work? Our brain is pretty much a predictive machine. Its intelligence is very much around this whole idea of predictability. But it really works in chunks. And what it really does is that it's not one piece at a time that it's working. It's actually taking these chunks. And this whole concept is called chunking. And with this chunking, you're far ahead of a computer. Now let's look at another great campaigner, warrior, Napoleon. He didn't know very much about going and winning wars. But what he did was that he worked a lot on studying how wars are fought. He studied military history end to end. And so when he walked on for his first Italian campaign, he had 35,000 people. And suddenly he had these two armies of 35,000 against him. From this intuition, from this predictiveness, what does he do? What he did was, he went right through them, came back and attacked the first one, defeated them, came back and attacked the second one and defeated them. 2:1. So you see, this is really where his brain was taking him, because he studied, he understood, he really anticipated while beating the enemy when he was just one and they were twice his size. So he actually had something that is called strategic intuition, and that's referred to by many as what's called the Napoleon's glance. We are all seeing this huge data deluge taking place. The total world storehouse this year, 2011, will be somewhere around 1.8 zettabytes. A terabyte is 1000 GB, a petabyte is 1000 TB, an exabyte is 1000 PB, and a zettabyte is 1000 EB. So we're really talking in very crazy numbers. I mean, many years ago we just used to talk about gigabytes, and suddenly we are talking about zettabytes. And really, that's the kind of storehouse that the whole world is sitting on today. And what do you do with all this data? How do you actually take decisions with data? Data doesn't help in taking decisions. It's that one event or that one little extra information that can actually help you take the decision better. And that's really what you're looking for. Can you take some event-based decisions? So let's look at some real-time examples. I mean, Reliance is famous for its monsoon hangama. But Reliance also actually did something very interesting. They had huge amount of data. And what do they do with this data? How does this data benefit them? So, and they were also having a lot of churn in their customers. So what do? They actually came up with this whole idea that when a churn happens, when a customer leaves you, why is it happening? And they just started to look at that event. And so this event was when a lot of dropped calls happened for a certain customer at a certain time. And with this whole idea of dropped calls, they could predict when the customer is going to leave them. So before the customer left them, they sent them an offer, which he couldn't refuse, so that they could renew the subscription. So this whole idea of being able to predict when somebody is going to leave you as a customer is something that it's been done in India by none other than Reliance. And this change will change human history forever. And therefore, I just want to leave you with these thoughts. The whole idea today was to get you to think about this 2-second advantage. When you go back to your organizations, just think about, can I get that 2 second, 2 hours, 2 days, 2 months, 2 years? 2 years is a long time. Maybe 2 months, 4 months advantage. If you get that 2 months, 4 months, 6 months advantage, I guess you'll be in a much better shape than anybody else. You can really beat your competitors. You'll be able to predict what is going to happen. And if you can predict that slightly ahead of time, I guess your business will flourish. Thank you.